Hi guys, welcome back. So you just read the article, Italian Town Bans Cricket. Now, when you think of some sports that might be banned, you might think of some very aggressive ones, something like, fist fighting, MMA, right? So when you think which one should be banned, it would be things like that, things that maybe not educational or not good for your physical education, but you don't think of cricket. Now, cricket is a very relaxing pastime enjoyed by Commonwealth nations, such as in the UK or in Australia. However, a small community in northern Italy, the mayor decided to ban cricket. So it's very shocking to hear that because you wonder why, especially when you think of cricket, it's like a synonym to being kosher, just like a fair and honorable.
A gentleman's game.
Very gentleman's game. And so you may wonder why was this decision taken? Well, some people argued that there were people playing it and near the shipyards, and they were worried about stray balls flying and damaging property like their houses or cars or somebody passing by and getting hit. And when you start to look more into it, you realize that the people playing cricket in this northern Italy area, in the shipyards, are actually from Bangladesh. And you start to look in deeper, and you might start seeing hints of xenophobia, more so than against the game itself. It's the people who are playing it. So right now, Italy is like 30% foreigners, and they are doing the jobs that Italians don't want to do. And therefore, they come, they do their job, and to pass the time, like many other countries do, they play cricket. And the balls don't actually pose that much of a threat to damage any of their property. However, many people are against not so much what is being done, but by who it's being done, which is quite unfortunate because they're there to, to work, and this whole kind of very racist vibes are coming off of this right-wing northern Italian community. So it's quite sad.
Yes,
I
think so
that they're
too.
taking this angle. Like, no, it's not that we're against you. We just don't want you to play cricket. Okay, what's the next game that they're gonna pick up that they're gonna have to ban? Oh, it's quite interesting. This article. Is cricket popular in your country?
Yes, very popular, but baseball, on the other hand, not so popular. And I think you have the exact opposite.
Exact opposite. So, right. Like you mentioned before, growing up, that you played cricket. For us, we play t-ball.
T-ball?
T-ball, which
Is
might
that the
be
one
similar
where it's
to
on
rounders.
the stick that you put on the pole and then hit the ball?
Right. Or dodgeball, where we kick it, but it's the same rules as baseball. So it's like prepping us for baseball. And we have a lot of where you can practice
hitting
the balls
cages.
Batting cages.
Batting cages.
And baseball is very popular in USA. It's interesting how it's like the opposite, right? And then,
it's the exact opposite. I had never been to a baseball game or even seen a baseball game until I moved to Korea. And then I was just like, this is just like fancy cricket.
Oh, fancy.
with cheerleaders.
Yeah.
Because in the UK, cricket is very quiet. It's a summertime sport. You can enjoy it with your family and just have a relaxing day. But I was so overstimulated at the baseball field. I was like, what is going on? There's cheerleaders. There's clapping sticks. It was very noisy. Yeah, super different experience. It was quite a culture shock, to be honest.
Oh, it's so funny how very different. Like, oh, let's drink our tea and
strawberries.
Eat
some strawberries.
And we're like, oh, baseball, paint our faces, smack the sticks
together. Cheerleader dances.
Right. In your opinion, which sports have the highest levels of sportsmanship, and which ones lack sportsmanship?
For me, I think it's quite funny that the sports that are the most violent usually have the most sportsmanship. So when I first read this question, my first idea was rugby. So usually rugby is very like aggressive, like men and women like really buffed up, big muscles colliding with each other. But if someone on the opposite team actually gets hurt, they are like immediately there to help pick them up. Like, are you okay? Like, I'm sorry that like I crashed into you like that. And if someone is seriously hurt, then usually like it's a good kind of bonding moment between the teams. And ice hockey too. I've seen like people crash into each other in the wall and like really hurt themselves and then shake hands afterwards. And I think that is noble's maybe not the word, but really like endearing honorable to see them do that. And then on the flip side, the complete lack of sportsmanship, in my opinion, is soccer or English football. When I've watched games before, I always think, oh, you guys are so like gross. Like the way that you kind of, if someone does something wrong, I feel like in another sport, people would be like, I'm so sorry about that. Like, I'm really sorry. And like same for basketball too. Like if you crash into each other, usually the other team are like, I'm so sorry.
And they help each other back up.
But like in soccer or in British football league, it turns into a brawl sometimes. I'm like, oh, you guys are so embarrassing.
Right. And so I agree with what you said. And also I think it's the fans also. Sportmen. There's a lot of lack of sportsmanship.
British soccer fans in particular too. I feel like every time there's a big England versus someone in Europe game, there's always a riot afterwards because England inevitably lose. Always. So the fans like to cause some fuss afterwards, unfortunately.
They get too into it.
I think so.
I think, you know which one comes to mind? Like kind of like judo or something like boxing. When you do boxing, like you have to like kind of like tap the gloves. And usually they do congratulate each other, whoever wins, because it's like it's when it's 1-1, especially it's like may the best man win. But yeah, like soccer and baseball. Like in baseball specifically, like you can see the players trying to sabotage the opposite team in malicious ways, like trying to erase a line and say, like move the base plate and spitting near them. It's quite wild, but the fans love it. They're like, yes, give us more of that. So it's there.
The more you know.
Right. Well, we hope you enjoyed reading about this article, and it makes you, think about how Italy is dealing with the situation and trying to cover up their xenophobia. And please use this vocabulary in your day-to-day, and we'll see you in the next article.
Bye.
Officiated.
Officiated.
Commonwealth.
Commonwealth.
Kosher.
Kosher.
Right wing.
Right wing.
Xenophobia.
Xenophobia.